Tom Hutchison is in the house, everybody. Hey, come and join us today as we are going to talk all things Oz. And I dare say we are going to be following the Yellow Brick Road here on Two Geeks and a Microphone.
Welcome to the Two Geeks and a Microphone podcast, your one-stop shop for television, movie, video games, comic books, book reviews, and more. Now, without further ado, here's Steven and Mike.
Hello there. So who talks first? You talk first? I talk first.
I will talk first, everybody. Good morning, everyone. So glad to have you here with us. I am your co-host, Mr. Steven Bosser, along with the one, the only, Mr. Mike Shanks, who's got great legs behind him in the show. Mike, say hey to everybody.
Good morning to all you geeks out there in Geekdom Land. And yes, I do have a couple new posters. We'll show those off in the Geekdar portion of our show. Until then, we got a guest with us. We got Mr. Tom Hutchison in the house, and he's here to talk with us about Jaws 2. Jaws.
Jaws 2. Next week will be Jaws 3.
Just kidding. Here it goes. Here it comes. Here it comes. And he's going to talk about Oz today. All right. Sorry. I'm playing around with some of our new sounds that we have, which is, but I guess, I digress. All right. I'll stop. I promise. All right. Well, cool beans, everybody. So yes, we are talking Oz. I'm pretty super excited about this because as we get into the main part of the show, we'll be talking with Tom, regular guest. Tom, love having you with us. We always have a great time, and we are going to talk more about a new Kickstarter thing that has got going on, but it's all about Oz. So with that being said, we'll get going. Are we ready for some? Mike, do you have geeky? We have not. We've totally saved it for the podcast. We haven't even discussed what it is.
I have
what
no
we have
geeky,
for the day.
Geeky news. Feast or famine, and this is famine.
That's true, because like 2 weeks ago we said that, and then last week we had a whole bunch of stuff.
Right.
And then, yeah. Okay. Do you have any Geekdar?
I do have Geekdar.
Okay, let's do this.
Go with the radar, sir. What's wrong with it? I've lost the bleeps, I've lost the sweeps, and I've lost the creeps. What? The what? And the what? You know, the bleeps, the sweeps, and the creeps.
That's not all.
All right.
All right.
You ready?
Yeah. So first one, I'm going to have to switch camera views real quick. Let's see if I can do this. All right. Bam.
So those who are listening on the podcast, Mike is showing off something special.
Yes, I have two new to me anyway, new Rip-A-Verse posters. I actually got these on sale for $5 piece. So
nice.
Just say it, just being real. But I have the Yaira poster and I got the Bloodruth poster. And man, I've read Bloodruth 1. Bloodruth is great, good book. And I've read Yaira 1 and 2, and both of those are excellent. I love both of these characters. So I thought it'd be cool to change up the scenery a bit and bought me some new posters.
Yeah, because you had Batman and
I had
Star Wars.
Episode 3, which is
the best. I'm just saying it's the best of the that's the best of the Star Wars movies.
You're delusional, so I mean, there's Steven, we're Two Geeks and a Microphone, where we highlight Steven's delusionism. Anyway, so and then the other thing, since Tom is here, and the last time Tom was on, I ordered this while we were talking to him, but I got book 3 of his Legends of Oz book, and so now I'm up to book 3 of it, and he just informed me, "Hey, you don't have enough of them." I'm working on it.
There's 3 more volumes and 2 spinoffs. Like, got some work to do.
Oh, I didn't realize you had spinoffs of Oz.
Yeah, we did 2 spinoffs. We did a Scarecrow 2-issue miniseries, and then there's a TikTok 3-issue miniseries.
Oh, okay.
Are standalone stories, but the TikTok one has very direct connections to both the beginning of our story and, I won't say the end because it's not the end, but the most recent volume 6. So it actually connects both sides of the storytelling.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. Well, cool. Yeah, learn me.
But now there's good news and bad news. The good news is you can get those TikTok issues on our website whenever you want to get them. They're all 3 are available. Bad news is Scarecrows are not available. Those are long gone. You'll have to eBay hunt those babies because they're in the wind. I do not have those.
Challenge accepted.
Oh, dang. Okay.
And the Scarecrow issues were written by Pat Shand. You guys know who Pat Shand is?
No.
Do not.
Pat Shand is a writer who worked for Zenescope for many, many, many years, and he now has broken off. And among other things, he's done tons of stuff. He's done some stuff for Marvel and so on. And now he runs his own company called Space in Between. He does Kickstarters and so on too. So Pat's been around for a minute, and he actually came to me. He wanted to write something. And I was like, well, yeah, you can do this Scarecrow thing, but you realize that she doesn't talk, right? And he was like, well, no, she says a little bit. And I was like, no, go back and look what we wrote. She does not talk. That's part of her character. She doesn't talk. And he was like, oh. And I said, so you are welcome to do this book, but you're going to have to figure out a way to tell this story so that in the context of the story, she's not talking. And he was like, yeah, we can do this. And so he wrote a cool script, and we found an artist who I said, okay, look, the next step to this would be we have to find an artist who's really going to work with facial expressions, because again, the Scarecrow with mute, she can't just be like, that in every panel. So we had to find a artist who could do good facial expressions to carry us through those sort of silent moments. And we found Carlos Reno, who has since become the regular artist for Oz. And he did a great job on that. So we ended up with a very cool little Scarecrow miniseries.
Cool. Okay.
I'm searching eBay. Gosh darn
it. So am I.
We're really bad. Right here, live on the show, everybody.
I have no question that they're out there. What combination of covers you're going to find, I don't know, because there's the 2A covers, which were both done by Carlos Reno, and then there's B covers that were both done by Nia Rufino. So I don't know what combination you might find, but I'm sure they're out there.
Gotcha.
Was it still Wicked West?
Yeah, so we changed the name a little bit. We called it Legends of Oz, and then the Scarecrow.
Okay, let me try that.
I'm trying to too.
Listen, everybody, they're so good that I'm not finding them on eBay. Gosh darn it.
Let's see.
How are you doing on that? Listen to us. We're taking showtime to go search on eBay for books. I love it. Eric, if you want to go to the show, bigdoginc.com is Tom's site. So that's the store. So you can go and take a look at all the stuff they have available right now. You don't have to wait until the next week's Kickstarter. But you can go check that out there.
So they're on eBay. If you just type in Legends of Oz Scarecrow, and then you scroll down a few, you'll see a set right there. It's going for $12. And then if you scroll down a little further, you'll see single issues that are kind of floating around. But they're just kind of mixed in with like Scarecrow figures and stuff. But they're in there.
It is.
They're
All I
definitely
keep finding is the Scarecrow doll.
Yeah. But just type in Legends of
see it.
Oz Scarecrow, and then they're in there. They're in there.
Was it a 2-episode set?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I see him.
I got
see it.
Legends of Oz, and then I got Scarecrow, and I don't know. Steven will have to send me the link. And then
Yeah.
I'll read it. Okay.
Okay. All right. I love it. I love it. Okay. I'm going to stop there because then I'll go down a rabbit hole, everybody.
Yeah,
I
I
don't want to
know.
go down a rabbit hole here on the show. Thanks a lot, Tom. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, man. So,
All right. All right. I clicked off of it. I'm done now.
Now I got Tom's side up. So,
Yeah, and Scarecrow. So actually, Scarecrow and the TikTok series are both contain one of I think there's three. I think there's three characters in our story that we truly created ourselves. One of them is in Scarecrow. It's another Scarecrow because in our story, the Scarecrow is like sort of a race of people throughout Oz, and so we created or Pat, I should say, created a Scarecrow named Cerulean. So he first appears in the Scarecrow series, and then in the TikTok series, we have a girl who basically is just known as the Girl in Green, and she's kind of a mysterious figure. But she first appears in the TikTok series, and then she becomes a major character in the volume 6 as we get into figuring out who she is and what's going on. So those two books do have some of our own creations for Oz. Everything else, for the most part, in our Oz book, as far as like major character players, are just the Western adaptions of the characters that you already know: Tin Man, Scarecrow, Dorothy, Glinda, right. all those characters. But we do have a few that we dropped in that are our creations.
That's cool. Very cool. Nice. So, are you a fan of the what was the movie that came out 5-6 years ago, maybe longer? And I think it was
Oz the Great and Powerful.
Yeah. Are you
nobody likes that movie? Nobody likes that movie. I don't think the people that made that movie like that movie. No.
I'm waiting for my wife to chime in on that one.
It's one of those movies that the Oz community is pretty much solid on. We're just kind of like, nope, that's not a good movie. We don't want that. We don't want that.
It's not included. That's awesome.
Yeah, and it was a shame too, because it's amazing cast, and it's Sam Raimi, and it's like,
yeah,
the visuals of it were cool, but it just it did not land for the community. And it's always funny to me because I always talk to people about it, and I'm looking for the people that liked it. I'm actively in search of, did you like that movie? And so far, it's pretty much a no-go. Now, there's things that people do like about it. They like the China doll girl, and there are elements of it that even I'm like, and I've told people when I do like movie reviews and stuff, even if I think a movie is really bad, a lot of times I can still point to, like, this is a bad movie, but this part was good and this actor was good, or whatever. So I can point out kind of what worked, but then, just sort of as the whole, as the entirety of it, it's just like, woof. They just they took a big swing on that film. They really took a big swing, but it just kind of missed everything.
I don't know if my wife meant to say I didn't think it was bad. Because she's put, I did think it was bad, which is funny because we do have a poster of the Wicked Witch from that movie in our bedroom.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the reasons why people don't like that movie. It's
I need to rewatch it now.
Maybe I do need to rewatch it.
I don't think I hated it.
I don't remember hating it either.
Well, and the other thing that's really, this is sort of the important part about like how people react to films and TV and whatever, is it's all context as well. So if you come into Oz the Great, but let's just say you've never seen The Wizard of Oz and you watched Oz Great and Powerful, that is your sole context of The Wizard of Oz. And so your experience is going to be very different than if you've seen the original 39 or any of the stuff along the way. You'll have a bubble context of like, oh, this is The Wizard of Oz. Oh, I like what I see here. But then when you realize sort of the original Baum books, the original movie, all of the things that kind of got us to that movie, then you go, ooh, okay, now I see why people are like, this did not land the way we wanted it to.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Now, Sam Rogers asks, is this the same movie where the flying monkeys have wheels instead? I don't remember.
No, there's no. I don't know what I think you're thinking of the Wheelers, Sam, because there are characters called the Wheelers. That's the movie. That's Return to Oz. That's the Disney movie Return to Oz. That is the sequel to The Wizard of Oz. That has Fariza Balk in it. There are characters called the Wheelers, where basically they're just dudes, but instead of hands and feet, they have wheels, and they're running around on their wheels. And then they're literally called the Wheelers. I have a feeling that's what you're probably cross-pollinating what we're talking about, because that was a Disney movie too. But that was, in fact, that's 40th anniversary this year, 1985, that came out. So yeah.
And my wife's commenting about Glinda and the Witch, so. I've so changed my mind about Glinda versus the Witch. Glinda isn't really all that. Well,
yeah, and see, all of that is context too. When you look at Wicked and you look at the original Wizard of Oz and you look at the original book and then you look at Oz Great and Powerful, Glinda is all different. You look at Legend of Oz, my book, Glinda has a different vibe to her. The connection to her and Gale are, is a little different than what we're used to. So people, as all of this media gets made, people try and put their own stamp on the story in whatever way they can. And sometimes that's, sort of retconning some of the things that we think we know. In order to make that particular piece of content work within itself.
Right.
But then sometimes it just doesn't end up working at all. Oz Great and Powerful. It just doesn't work.
So Brenda did say she did like Oz the Great and Powerful. So.
Mm-hmm. But again, I would ask Brenda, like specifically, like, what is your Oz sort of awareness? What is your Oz context? Was that a movie that you were like, oh, I'm going to go see The Wizard of Oz, and that's what you saw, and that's your bubble? In which case, it makes total sense.
She's been watching The Wizard of Oz since we were kids. So.
Okay, all right.
I mean, when she lists her favorite movies, Wizard of Oz is on top. That's the number one movie. So.
Well, that's pretty much everyone's number one movie. Yeah,
right.
That's also the other thing. It's like everybody always has that at the top, and Oz Great and Powerful is usually somewhere towards the bottom. Not necessarily the bottom, but like bottom-ish.
Mm-hmm.
So her comment was, I thought of it as a different take on it. So.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. It is a different take. Yeah. And that's why people didn't really vibe on it. That, the fact that they had like the Wicked Witch becomes the Wicked Witch because of a boy. Like it's what are we doing here? This is nonsense storytelling. So, because in particularly in Baum's books and through a good portion of media, the women of Oz have all been very strong, for the most part. And so there's never really a sense of like, oh, we're boy crazy for the wizard and, things like that. Like that. So it just sent people, like Tin Man, right? The sci-fi series, that's a very different take of the Wizard of Oz too, right? So it's not that the different take was bad. I think it just had elements that sort of triggered people in a way that they just were like, I just don't like.
Oh my gosh, I watched the Tin Man and I barely remember that.
Was that with Zooey Deschanel? Was she the one in that one?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Alan Cummings was the Scarecrow, and
yeah.
I thought we really liked it.
I thought we did too, but man, it's been so long since I watched it. I may have to re-look it up and see if I can remember.
Yeah, Tin Man is a really interesting moment in time because it was something to the effect of like the most watched TV movie of all time or some crazy stat like that. Because it was spread out over like 3 episodes.
Right.
And so it is a movie, but it was like a television event thing.
Like a mini series.
Yeah, right, exactly. And a lot of people mostly liked it. Some people had a few little things that they were like, well, again, like I don't like that the Emerald City, there's like hookers in the Emerald City and stuff. Like, I get it. Like, that's a weird departure, right? Who played the wizard?
Oh, geez.
Richard Dreyfuss plays the wizard, and he plays like this sort of lazy, like, oh, things are so weird in here kind of wizard. And it's like, what is this? Like, well, this is really strange. So the people have some kind of specific, I don't like that. It's like Oz was Great and Powerful. I don't like that, but other parts of it work, right? So,
Gotcha.
but Tin Man for me on a rewatch is hard to watch. It's a little too long. Again, it was a TV miniseries, so that's why.
Right.
But it was a little too long. I felt like it really could have been like just a 2-hour movie and be done. The whole thing was built up throughout all the episodes, talking about the Gray Gale, the Gray Gale, the Gray Gale, and I'm like, well, I know what that is, but when we finally get to the Gray Gale at the end, it's like 90 seconds and the Gray Gale is done, and it's very underwhelming what they do with the Gray Gale. So I'm like, oh God, you guys are just like missing. You're building all of this up, and then like this story just crumbles sort of at the end. So it's I think it's worth a watch. If no one's seen it, it's definitely worth a watch. I don't know how many rewatches it's worth, but definitely if you have any sort of, Oz interest, for sure, watch it one time for sure.
Right. Gotcha.
It is on Peacock.
There you go.
Those who have Peacock, it is on there.
And Brenda said Return to Oz sucked.
Return to Oz, again, it's one of these things where I have very specific memories of these things. Because I remember when Return to Oz came out, I didn't understand what it was because the designs were so different from the 39 movie, and it was billed as a sequel to the 39 movie. So I was like, why does everything look weird? Like, why is the Scarecrow different? Why is the Lion different? Why is everybody different if it's a sequel? Because in my mind, a sequel is Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. That everything looks the same. Chewbacca's the same through all of them. Han Solo's the same through all of them. So how is this a sequel? It looks wonky to me.
Yeah.
So I never saw it as a kid. I didn't see it till many, many, many years later, on like HBO or something. And then I just actually recently watched it this year because it was the 40th anniversary. So I'm like, yeah, let me go back to this. And it's a wild movie, man. It's a crazy wild movie. But if you think about when it was made in 1985, you're talking about things like Secret of Nim, Dark Crystal,
right,
Labyrinth, right? So it was in that. It was right in that period of like, let's just make some sort of darker things. So it fits right into the mold of what was being made.
Was that the time of the Black Cauldron?
Black Cauldron.
Black Cauldron was during that time too.
Sure,
that because I remember that was the one everyone got upset with Disney about. It was so dark, and all.
Yeah, I like this comment from Brenda. I try to watch anything Oz, any Oz things, each like a multiverse.
That's what they are. I mean, that is what they are. Yeah, 100%.
That makes 100%. Sense.
Yeah.
See, Steven, now we even had the Oz multiverse.
Oh gosh, right?
Yeah.
Steven hates the multiverse.
I don't hate it. I agree with Angie from Geek Girls Gaming. I watched the first 10 minutes and got bored.
Awesome.
I'm teasing. That's funny. I'm okay with Elseworlds. Like I love Gotham by Gaslight.
Right.
Like let's put Batman in a different kind of universe. I don't want to say multiverse, but because it's not multiverse. I get frustrated with because it's when people try to. Yeah, it's still connected. It's all the same. We're trying to create canon, all the same story, but we're going to throw in a multiverse. Oh, here's a multiverse thing. So I don't have to worry about connecting with anything, or I don't have to worry about canon stories, or I can make it up as I go. I just think for some things, it's a cheap cop out for bad writing.
Well,
I'm just saying.
I will geek explain for Brenda that I think what she really means is actually Elseworlds than multiverse.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Brenda understands the difference between Elseworlds and multiverse.
Did you just geek explain me?
Yeah, I just did. To my wife, by the way, who is the biggest Wizard of Oz fan.
That she is. That she is.
Yes. Now, Tom, are you into audio dramas?
Nope.
No. Oh man. So I would highly recommend, even though you're not into audio dramas, but you listen to this and you might be. There is a company out of England. They're called Big Finish Audio. They do mostly Doctor Who, but they've done some other things besides Doctor Who. Like, they got some rights to like some of the really old early Star Trek stuff. They've got Martian Chronicles, which I love their version of Martian Chronicles. It's fantastic. But they do The Wizard of Oz, and I think theirs is a much more closer.
We'll go with that one.
Much more closer to Frank L. Baum's stories than what we've ever seen before, and they're really excellent. They are really top notch in the audio drama. I personally, I think they're the best. They're DC High Volume's getting close to them, getting very close to them, but Big Finish is still the best.
Here, sorry. I'm trying to duplicate something because I want to get the.
Okay.
I was going to try to bring up my.
So
my
if you want to dip
share.
your toes into the audio drama era, go check out Big Finish's version of Wizard of Oz. It's really, really good. It's one of my favorites.
I'm way too visual in my I don't know, my consumption.
Okay.
So I remember the only one that I do remember. This was when I was a kid. Is they did a Star Wars radio drama.
Yes.
I don't know whenever they did it. That I remember listening to, and even then I was kind of like, well, again, it was sort of like Oz, right? I was like, nobody sounds right. Like what is happening right now? And it was because they got different actors to play
right. Except for Mark Hamill actually started in that.
Yes, yeah. Well, of course he does everything. But yeah, it was very strange for me to kind of have that as a kid, noticing immediately like something's wrong. Oh, I don't know what's happening.
And I think Anthony Daniels was in it too, because Anthony Daniels almost always plays C-3PO.
Correct. Yeah.
There's very few times you will see or hear C-3PO and it's not Anthony Daniels. However, Lucasfilms does have a secondary C-3PO that's official and has Anthony's blessing. So there is one guy out there who gets to do it. But for the most part, it's Anthony Daniels every single time.
Well, and I would imagine he'll probably do something similar to James Earl Jones when he gets to a point where he's going to, pass on, that he'll probably sell his voice so that it'll be eternal at that point. Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to want that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
How do you not want C-3PO's voice?
Of course. Yeah.
But I really like the Big Finish version of it. It's one of my favorite versions. But I'm also kind of an audio guy. I'm visual too, but I love audio. I mean, I love.
Well, see, I love music and stuff, but I think that if I was listening to a book or whatever, you know what I mean, I think I would drift off because I'd be like, well, what?
But this is better than a book. This is like you are listening to the movie. It's
right, but at that point, I'd just watch the movie.
Okay, I'm not going to be able to sell you. Oh, gosh. You just got to have an appreciation for audio theater.
You're right. 100%. Yeah.
But I just figured you being an Oz guy, that's something you should.
It's something that I, if it were to come across my plate and I would probably like dig into it and be like, okay, because I talk about this. And to be perfectly honest, I've not heard anyone in the community talk about that before. So I'd be curious to see who else knows that exists, and if they've had that experience yet or not, because I've just never heard anybody talk about it. Right now, everybody's talking about the Sphere and how they're going to be playing Wizard of Oz at the Sphere in Las Vegas.
I wanted to bring that up too. Yeah.
We'll talk about that real quick. Yeah, real quick.
That and Wicked, that's kind of the current. This is what we're looking at.
Yeah. Real quick, Sam, good night. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you,
Always
Sam.
Appreciate you having us with us. Having you with us. Having us with us? Having you with us. Sorry. So the Sphere is going to get...
Hey, Steven, it's Sam's world. We're just living in it.
That's correct. The Sphere's getting Oz. Are they getting Wicked or are they getting Oz?
No,
they're getting the original Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
And you should look up some videos on what they've done with this, because they've used AI not to change it. It's not changed, but to enhance some scenes, to build scenes out, further, because like there's some scenes where, it's cut to television format.
Well, it's not even that it's television format. It's just that the original film doesn't fill this immense viewing screen, and size. The dimensions is really the problem. It's not even like the film. You can't just blow the film up into this ball. It wouldn't translate. So what they had to do was basically put the film, where it could go within the ball, and then AI had to fill in the tops and the bottoms and the sides and whatever else they need to make it fill the Sphere. But some of it's more than just fill in too. Some of it is really hardcore reimagining of some of the scenes, like some of the Twister scenes and so on. Some of the stuff with the wizard at the end where he's doing the head, right, and the fire's going off, like that's been completely redone. It's not just the original movie that they're using and enhancing it. They're literally have changed the wizard to be, this new digital thing, whatever it is. So there is some stuff that has been changed visually. Nothing story-wise is being changed, but some visual stuff has been changed, and then visual stuff has been wildly expanded. To just fill the space.
Like, for instance, in the scene where Dorothy's in bed and one of the uncles comes walking over to her, in the original scene, you don't see him until a certain point. But with this, they've made it to where you actually see him on the side of the room coming over to her. So those were the kind of things that I was referring to, because it, like you said, it does not change the story one bit. It just adds a little bit more to the scenery, which fills that screen, because that screen is humongous. I've got a friend, he's been to the Sphere, I think twice now. He went and seen, I think the Zac Brown band play there. Oh, no. He's seen Kenny Chesney play there, and he's going to go see the Zac Brown band play there. And he was showing me pictures from it and stuff. And the thing is just amazing. It's so cool.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Are you going to go see the Wizard of Oz?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I wished I could afford to go see the Wizard."
I know. I'm looking at tickets right now, and for 2 tickets, you're looking at $300 all the way up to $590.
Yep.
Oh, those are the cheap tickets,
right? Exactly.
In the early days of this thing, you're talking about $1,000 a seat.
Yeah.
You have to, because it's going to run until something like May or something like that. So there's a period of time.
Was it going that long?
Yeah. That. So there's a period of time where the tickets are going to get down lower, but 150 is basically going to be your lowest ticket, even at the sort of the off season times.
Now, of course, you got to be careful, because you could get underneath the canopy. There's like a canopy section. I say canopy where the seats are actually over the top.
Yeah, the mezzanine stuff and all that.
Right. Yeah. And those seats you really don't want, because you can't see up a certain point of the screen.
Yeah, and that's the other part of the ticket pricing is the weirder your seat, the cheaper it gets. There's there's prime seats that they know they can get more for, because that's the best viewing
experience to see.
Yeah.
And
it runs through.
Sound is like nothing you've ever heard before.
Oh, really?
gosh.
March 31st, last day for tickets.
March. Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. April. Yeah, you know.
So we need a whole bunch of Ko-fi subscribers so I can take Brenda to see the Wizard of Oz at the Sphere. In
Yeah.
Vegas.
Yeah, I'm going to be, I think I'm going to be at Albuquerque Comic Con in January. So I am going to make the attempt to hang a left at Albuquerque, as Bugs Bunny usually says.
Right.
And head to Vegas after that and
Nice.
take a shot at seeing it before it goes away.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, if you go see it in the Sphere, you've got to come back and tell us about the experience.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
That'll be amazing. Oh,
Yeah.
and I will be so jealous. And my wife will be even more jealous. I mean, as far as visually striking films, I think Star Wars would probably be the next best thing for that.
Oh my God. Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
oh, can you imagine the trench run in that thing? Oh gosh, that would be so cool. Oh gosh. But I gotta say, choosing the Wizard of Oz for the first, as far as I know, the first movie they're going to do, I think was an incredible choice.
Yeah.
Such a legendary film, and it has such an impact on.
Well,
cinema.
and that's why it's getting shit on for this, because people are like, "Oh, get that AI out of here. I don't want all this other stuff." Like there's these purists of don't touch
Right.
the movie, and I'm like, this isn't like George Lucas where he's going back in and making
Right.
special editions that are going to
Right.
change the movie forever. This
Right.
is just like an event, a moment. It's not like you can even take what they do and put it on a Blu-ray because it wouldn't translate to your screen at home. So this is just its own external experience. I understand if you don't like what they're doing to it. I have no problem with that thought process. But again, for me, I'm more cheesed at what Lucas did to the permanent state of Star Wars than I would ever be with just like a moment
Exactly.
of time with this kind of event.
I totally agree. I mean, to me, this is just a fantastic. It's a love letter to the original film, in my opinion. It's
All right, let me see.
It's not damaging the film. It's enhancing it and making it an even more, experience for fans to go see. So
Mhm.
I don't get why people would be upset. And you know what? You don't like it, don't go see it. That's
Well, yeah. I mean, I understand why they get upset. I mean, it's because it's something that means something to them. I think the reality though is it's less what they're doing and more they're reacting to AI, right? Because
Yeah.
people are so very anti-AI. So in their mind, they're like, well, if you're going to do this, why don't you just pay some people to do it? And I'm like, well, listen, people are being paid to do this. They're just using AI. But the prompters
Right.
and the people that are doing it, they're being paid, so, but because we understand that AI pulls from the internet and pulls from things that already exist, and it's, theft, and however you want to determine that, that's kind of, I think, what the biggest reaction is versus like, hey, we've made this, bigger.
Yeah, they're showing, or everywhere we're watching kind of a clip of some of the behind the scenes of how they've
this is the
created
scene
it.
I was talking about too, with the uncle walking into the scene and such,
Yeah.
which is pretty. I think that's cool. And again, it doesn't take away from the film at all.
I think it adds to it.
Right. It adds to it. And like Tom said, they're not changing the film permanently. Like, okay, this will be the version you get when you go buy the Blu-ray, or for that matter, this will be the version you watch when you watch streaming. No, this is not going to be, because if you can repeat this in your home, I want to see your house.
Yeah, you can't get the IMAX experience at home. You're not getting this at home.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
and that's why you go to IMAX, is because that's the only way you can see it in that,
Exactly.
that format. So that's the same thing here. It's just IMAX on steroids.
I watched some documentaries on them building the Sphere itself. They had to get the largest crane in the world brought in from, I don't know, I think it was Japan or something. I don't remember where it was at. They had to bring it into the United States. They had to assemble it, and it took like 2 other cranes to assemble this gigantic crane to put the top of the dome on. I mean, yeah, if you can repeat that experience in your house, I'm impressed.
It looks like they've even got like wind, and like when the tornado comes, they've got, so it's a whole, what do you call that? Is that 4D experience?
Yep.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
I think there's even like smells and everything in this. It's going to be insane.
Oh, well, Tom, thanks for making me aware of it. I'm just saying, this is yeah,
So,
that'd
Steven,
be
this
phenomenal.
is what we got to do. We got to buy our wives tickets. We got to go out there,
Right?
and we got to make this a Two Geeks and a Microphone event.
Oh my goodness. Yes, we are. So thanks for indulging me there a little bit, so I could.
So
we
all
could
of you,
watch that a little bit.
we really need some Ko-fi subscriptions. Please subscribe.
That's funny.
Shameless plug there. Anyway,
Shameless plug. Love it.
That's cool, because I really wanted to get to this fair. I had heard about that, and I wanted to make sure we included that in this conversation.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. I got to figure out when the off season is. Then that's the time to go. Hopefully that'll be the cheapest time to go. Is there really an off season for Vegas though?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, there is.
Yeah. And it's kind of, cause it's similar to everything else. It's like when, it's summertime and whatever, you would think that's the off season because it's so hot there, but it's, when people have their vacations and whether it's summer vacation, whether it's people taking their work vacations, whatever it is, people don't go to Vegas in December. Like that's just not, it's not high time for shows. It's not high time for big events, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So there's definitely times where it waxes and wanes, through vacation time for there.
Yeah.
So that's why you can go, if you go and you look into, some of these weird months, you can get cheaper tickets, but the cheapest I've seen, even as I've been going through all these months, is about $150.
$150.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brenda says tax write-off ticket. Well, we have to make money first to make it a tax write-off. So.
Right, that's correct.
Steven and I already discussed this week. Again, Ko-fi subscribers, please.
You're right. No, that's okay. So, Tom, let me ask you. So you mentioned oh my goodness, Wicked earlier. Have you read the book Wicked? You have not read the book.
I haven't read the book. I never saw the play. But the irony of that is that Wicked is semi-directly responsible for my book existing. Do you have volume 1 there, Michael, with you?
Yes.
You want to show that? See if people understand just exactly what I'm talking about. Because we had to pay a little, because the reality is I had to pay tribute to Wicked right there. So for those that know Wicked, the playbill and the posters for Wicked have Elphaba on the front with her head down, smiling with the hat over her eyes. And that's the poster for Wicked.
Yes.
And so
I love this cover. I think this is a fantastic cover.
Fabulous cover.
So I directly paid tribute to Wicked with that cover because Wicked is where this came from. Because at the time, like I said, I'd never seen the book, hadn't seen the play, but I was going to go try and get tickets to see the play. And so I was looking at tickets, and that image of Elphaba just got burned into my brain. I saw it a million times as I was looking for tickets. So when I do my cons, I don't fly. I just pack up the van and drive. So back then I was at, well, it's probably at Phoenix. Yeah, Phoenix Comic-Con. And I had been looking for the tickets, and as I was driving back, I was driving from Phoenix to New York.
Here, I'll show book 2.
Yep. So I was driving from Phoenix to New York to go to Ostravaganza. And so as I was driving from Phoenix, I was going through Phoenix and New Mexico and Texas and all of that. I was thinking about Wicked, like I got to get these tickets, and so that image of Elphaba got in my brain,
Yeah, I
and
get Critter in there too.
I started to I think what really happened was the terminology started to blend is where it happened first. Cause, Wizard of Oz, she's the Wicked Witch of the West. Right. And then I was going through what is called the Wild West. And so it was the Wicked Witch of the Wild West. And that's kind of the impetus for, Wicked Witch of the Wild West. That's kind of cool. And I started to imagine what the witch would be in the Wild West.
Nice.
And then I was like, well, all right, but let's talk about Dorothy. If we had this, what would Dorothy be? She couldn't wear ruby slippers in the Wild West. So what would be like the equivalent? She could have like ruby spurs. That would be cool. Toto could probably still be a dog. That would be easy to do. Maybe a coyote would make it kind of cooler. But then I'm like, well, if it's a Western, she's probably got to ride a horse. So Toto became the horse. And it just became this, snowball effect of, okay, what else, all the way to Ostravaganza, which is like a 3-4 day drive. And by the time I got to Ostravaganza, I had the foundation of this thing pretty much down. And it wasn't long after that I started talking about this to people in the company at the time. And I was like, I want to do this. I think this would work. I think this would be really cool. And then we heard that Zenoscope was doing an Oz book. And I was like, we turned the engine on right now. This is going to be out before Zenoscope's Oz book. I made that an impetus to everyone involved. This has to be out before their Oz book, because I don't want to be the one who says, oh, you're just doing what Zenoscope does. So no, we are doing this first. Now, they had done Oz stuff in their books in general, like Dorothy and stuff had appeared kind of in their universe, but they didn't have an Oz title. And so I was like, go, we're going. I'm writing this script. We're finding an artist. We're doing this right now. And so that was like June is Ostravaganza. So 6 months later, we had the book in stores in less than 6 months later, because it came out the end of 2011. So like 4 or 5 months later, we had the book in stores, and we were rolling, and we got it out before Zenoscope got theirs out. So
it's good to have a goal.
It did. I mean, it really lit the fire. I mean, it's the truth. It totally lit the fire under me that I was like, I don't want to follow, that act. I want to be the act,
right?
At least to start, and then they can put their book out, and then it doesn't matter anymore. But I wanted to be the opening act in that regard. So, and now we're the longest running Wizard of Oz adaptation in comics that's ever been done. Now, there's been they've done tons of Oz stuff, but it's all miniseries, right? We actually have a string of 1 through 25 that hasn't been done before. And as we come into next year, which will be our 15-year anniversary for the book, we'll be running that 25 into 30, and we'll officially have that true record. There may be more like Wizard of Oz adaptions by Scotty Young and Eric Shanauer that Marvel did. There's a whole bunch of those, and they were like 6-8 issues a piece. But again, they're all just 6 or 8. So in the totality of it, it's more than us. But we're the one that has the running number,
the longest running line.
Right.
Okay,
gotcha. Right. Yeah, and the one that was previous to it was Caliber Comics. They did an Oz book that ran 24 issues. And so we beat them out last year. But it was funny because a few years prior to that, I had made the claim that we were the longest running Wizard of Oz adaptation in comics. And somebody told me, no, Caliber Comics has done more. And I was like, no way. And I looked it up, and I was like, oh yeah, they did a string of 24. So we have to get past that to be.
There you go.
You have a goal.
Yeah. So again, it lit the fire, and now we can have that claim, and we'll just, it's going to keep going. We still have the book has a finale, but
so you have the end in mind.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Okay.
That's yeah. This is a finale. So, I don't know exactly how far out it's going to be, because we just finished volume 6. We're going to be doing volume 7 next year. It's going to be at least volume 10. That'll be the minimum. It'll be volume 10 to sort of wrap this story. But it depending on how we expand sort of the world a little bit, it might push a little further. But plan on 10 volumes for sure for this story. Now, when we get there, though, that doesn't mean that it's over, right? It just means that story is over.
Right. Okay.
And so Oz would still exist. These characters would still exist. So if we were to decide to come back into the world in some capacity, whether it's with Dorothy or without her or whatever, the door will remain open for the Wicked West to continue on if we choose. But there is a very beginning, middle, and end to, what I want this story to be.
So you're not going to be like Little House on the Prairie and blow up the entire town at the end, right?
Everything burns. Everything burns at the end. Yeah.
So real quick, Tom, we've got
go ahead.
Nobody for Anybody saying, where can I buy this graphic novel? Tom, please.
So you can get these books on our website, bigdoginc.com. You'll go there. You'll click on comics. You'll click on the Legend of Oz section, and it'll break it out for you, so you can find whatever single issues, depending on how you want to read it. We do have some single back issues. You can get those. We do have some variant covers if you like the art. We have those. But if you just want to read it, we have the trade paperbacks, and there are 5 trade paperbacks currently. And then volume 6 is only available as floppies because that's the most recent volume. So it's not a book yet, but they are available as the floppies, and those would be issues 21 to 25.
And I have 1 through 3 so far.
Now for the there's collected editions. So what do you have happening next week? So your Kickstarter, we probably should talk about the Kickstarter.
Sure.
Yes, definitely.
So volumes 1 through 4 that you can see there, volumes 1 through 4 are basically about to be out of print. I have very, very low remaining quantities of 1 through 4. And so I had to make a decision. I was like, well, all right, are we going to just reprint all these 4 books? Maybe put new covers on them or something? Or do we do what the market has really latched onto of late, which is the idea of these big collected editions? They call them omnibus collections, ultimate editions, all kinds of different terms for them, compendiums and so on. And so I decided that instead of reprinting the 4 individually, we're going to make one big 500-page book.
Omnibus.
Which will be the first 4 volumes all put into one big book. It's not all 5 because we just got those 5 in print. So we have plenty of those 5s. So it'll be the first 4, all in one big book. It'll be roughly 500 pages. We're doing a hardcover edition. We're doing a softcover edition. So whichever way you like to, collect your books, the interior, the content will be the same, whichever way you want to go. But some people like those hardcovers and some people just aren't concerned about it. Sometimes the price point just is like, well, it's going to only be like, $50 for the soft cover, and it's going to be like $80 for the hardcover. So price points matter to people, and they'll just get the soft cover.
That's just in general. That's not what you're saying your books are, but that's just in general.
Always, yeah. Because generally speaking, the hardcovers are usually lower prints, whereas the soft covers are basically in print for as long as they want them to be in print, and that's kind of why that happens. So for us, our hardcovers, we're only going to do 500 hardcovers. And then that's it. So we're going to do enough of them that we can keep the price point as low as we can, but we're not going to do so many that we have them forever. That's sort of our thought process.
Yeah.
Okay. You just did it.
The difference between these, the ones I have on the screen, everybody, sorry. We've got the collected edition. So you're saying it's going to be the first 4 collected editions are going to be in an omnibus. Any difference between the 2? You're saying, so in other words, like any different covers, or are you including, you remember how we talked about at the beginning of the show, Scarecrow? Does it include any of those, or is?
No, it is volume 1, which is issues 1 through 6 of the original miniseries. And then it's volume 2 through 4, which is issues 1 through 15 of the ongoing series.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. All right. And so that'll break out to about 21 issues, 15. Yeah. 21 issues of the book. It'll have all the cover galleries. It'll have design stuff. It'll have whatever sort of extra content we can put into it.
Mhm.
So you guys can really see kind of where all this came from. And that'll be the book. Scarecrow and TikTok. We're planning to probably do a collected edition of all of it in one book. Because it's only 5 issues. So we'll probably do a collected edition of that next year sometime during the 15-year anniversary. So that way we'll have this book done. Everybody can get what they want and they can be caught up on the story. And then we'll bring the side stories, those books as a collected edition sometime next year. And then we're also going to be doing, so we've been doing ever since our 13-year anniversary, we've been doing these anthology books, BD 13, BD 14, this year BD 15. So BD 16 next year will be all Oz stories. So I've already picked 2 of the characters that are going to have 2 of the stories, and I have to decide on what the third one is going to be. One of those 2 stories is a character that already exists in our Oz world, and one of them is one that does not. So I went through the Oz lore and mythos of L. Frank Baum and found a character in a situation that I was like, that fits 100% with what I can do with Wicked West. So that one is going to be in there. He'll be a brand new character. And then we have one that is already existing. And then we'll have the third one, which will probably also be something that's already existing. One of the sort of B or C level characters that has kind of been running around and, we'll give them a little more story that way. And then throughout the year, we'll be doing volume 7 of the book, which focuses on primarily General Ginger, and her sort of quest for revenge against the Kallidas that killed her family, and the connection that she now has with the Gnome King and the gnomes because they're helping her with her thing. And that all kind of, you kind of see that happening at the end of volume 6, all that kind of builds up. So it'll be primarily General Ginger's story, but then it'll also take us, at the end of volume 6, Ozma's back. We have the problem with the guns now. There's things that they have to deal with. So it'll be primarily General Ginger, but there will be also Ozma and Dorothy and Glinda and sort of them, but they'll take kind of a back step to the forefront of General Ginger's story. And then we'll get, and Dorothy's back here and so on and so on and so on. And that'll lead us to, to what we'll do with volume 8 as we get closer to the end of the overall, story that I had planned.
All right, you talked me into it. I ordered volume 4.
Well, volume 4 is interesting because it, again, similar to what we just talked about, how we're going to take Ginger to the forefront and then the other characters kind of step back. With volume 4, it was kind of a similar thing where we did the origin of the flying monkeys, and so Tin Man and Tip and Scarecrow and all that, their story kind of fell back a little bit while the monkeys came forward. It's also a point where, interestingly enough, I don't know what the hell I was thinking, but I kept challenging the norms of Oz and the expectations of the audience, because, spoiler alert, at the end of volume 1, obviously Dorothy beats the witch and, we have our own ending that allows us to keep telling the story, right? Yeah. But Dorothy doesn't fully appear again for almost a year in the story, as far as the releases, like issue 12. There's one moment kind of in there where we get a little Dorothy scene. We get a hint of kind of where she's at after beating the witch, but she doesn't really fully return until like a year later. And that was me saying, I can write Oz without Dorothy and I'm going to prove it. Because everyone else, whenever they write Oz, they write Dorothy.
Right. Yeah. Cause
when Zenescope did their Oz, they wrote it about Dorothy. And I told myself, I said, look, I know where she is. I can put her in this book anytime I feel like I need to, but I'm going to show you that I can write this book in a way that no one else writes this book. And that's what happened in that kind of time frame. And then once Dorothy's back, she's back a lot, big time in the Flying Monkey story. And then from there, she's back. I won't really go into the spoilers of her situation in those books, but again, it was something that, in my mind, what we did with her has never been done with Dorothy or the Witches of Oz before.
Nice. Well, we got nobody for anybody looking at your website now.
That's great. That's great. And I've never had anyone challenge me when I tell them what I did. Even Oz sort of enthusiasts and whatever. I'm like, this is Dorothy now. This has never happened in a story context in any Oz iteration ever. I've never been challenged on it, because every time I tell them, they're like, oh yeah, you're right. I'm pretty sure you're right. So, yeah, this book is not, what did they say? This ain't your daddy's Oz. This is new stuff. This is
Very
new
nice.
ground. It's all based on Baum. It's all based on Baum's books, Baum's stories, Baum's characters, it's based on Baum's iterations. It does have Easter eggs for like the movie and Wicked and things, just little nods, but it's the intent is for it to be its own thing that is structurally attached to Baum's purpose of the whole thing.
Nice.
And I think that's why it resonates with even the purists, because when a purist who's either the book or the original 39 movie are like, well, that's Oz. And I'm like, it is, you're right. But let me tell you why this Oz is still Oz. Whenever I can finally convert that sale, invariably, and this happens at Ostravaganza primarily, because that's where the purists are. This year was my 13th consecutive year at Ostravaganza. They invite me every year.
That's cool.
That's cool.
And so
who said same time drinking?
much more cooler.
Cheers. Nicely done.
So in the early days, I would get people come by my table at Ostravaganza, and they would look at Dorothy, who is, a gunfighter in my thing, and they would give me looks like, what the hell is going on? What is he doing?
Well, that's exactly what happened to me.
Yeah.
When you came here and you had this beautiful big display, and I'm looking up there at Dorothy and I'm like, whoa, this is the most different take I have ever seen on The Wizard of Oz.
Mm-hmm.
I have to talk to this guy. So
yeah,
that's what
at Ostravaganza, they didn't want to talk to me. That's the difference. They were like, I don't want any of this.
Well, see, I was fascinated by it.
Stay away. But again, like I said, because I came back for 13 consecutive years, I'm back again. So, 5 years in, I'm seeing the same people, and the same people, they'd come up, they'd be like, you're here again? And I'm like, yeah, I'm here again.
We haven't got rid of you yet.
Yeah. Why are you still here? I'm like, because I keep making this book. And so that's when the walls started to break, and they were like, okay, tell me what this is. Tell me why you're here. Tell me why anyone cares. Tell me why Dorothy is what she is, blah, blah, blah. And so I tell them, I'm like, this is what it is. This is how the story works. I read all the Baum books and on and on and on and on. And so I would then get them to buy the first volume. 9 times out of 10, I would see them the next day and they'd be like, I get it. You did read the Baum book. This all comes from Baum. Yes, it's thrown into this Western blender, and it's not my Dorothy, it's not my Oz, whatever, but I get it. I understand what you're doing. And I would either then get them to buy the next book, or I would at least just get that sort of, now I know why you're here kind of result, right? So even if they weren't like, yeah, I'm not going to buy the book, but I get it. We accept you now because we understand what you're doing. And so that was kind of the cool part. And I've been really adopted into that community now.
Nice.
That's good. Awesome.
I've met amazing people. I've met Andre DeShields, who played the wizard in Wiz,
oh, wow.
On stage, back in the 70s. John Fricke, who's the preeminent Oz historian and Judy Garland historian in the world. He's won Emmys for the stuff that he's done. John Fricke and I are friends, which is amazing. I've met Felicia Ricci. Felicia Ricci. She played Elphaba on stage in Wicked, so I got to meet her. Met Eric Schanauer one time. He was amazing. All kinds of just actors and music people. And it's just like, oh my God, what, I have a picture with Ray Bolger's granddaughter, he played the Scarecrow. So I have a picture with her. I gave her actually a print of the Scarecrow, of my Scarecrow. I was like, here, you're the Scarecrow's granddaughter. You need to have one of these prints. And she lost her mind that our Scarecrow was a girl. She was like, yo, what is happening? I was like, yeah, this is what we do. So she was thrilled with that. Bert Lahr, who played the Cowardly Lion, his daughter comes to the shows. So I've gotten to talk with her. And she wrote a great book about Mary Magdalene as well. So she and I kind of connected on a different level because I write about Mary Magdalene in my Penny for Your Soul
Penny for
series.
Soul. Yeah.
And
Right.
so I was like, there's like this weird like Oz Mary Magdalene thing happening. Like that's crazy. So it's an amazing event for anyone who's up in New York or wants to just go. It's called Extravaganza. It is the first Saturday of June every year. But it's a festival. It is not like a Comic-Con. It's a festival. It's outdoors. It's under tents. It's in a park. They put me in a parade every year. I'm riding in cars, waving at people that don't know who I am. You know, so yeah. And then, so next year I got told by Mark Baum, who's the kind of runs the thing. He told me that because they do after hours programming where all the people that are the guests that are there, they come and talk about the movies or whatever it is they make. So he told me that next year I'm going to be part of the after hours programming with John Fricke to talk about the 15-year anniversary of the book. So I get to, again, another sort of validation step of like, oh, I'm following now like all these movie stars and, directors and whatever. Now I get to take, sort of the stage on this after hour stuff. So one more step of validation. Yeah.
So let me ask you this. If Disney came to you and said, hey, we want to turn Legend of Oz into a
No.
The answer is no, huh?
The answer is no, because Disney wouldn't
respect your original writings.
Yes, that too. But they also wouldn't just sort of option it. It would be a purchase.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? They'd be
That's
like, look, we just have to buy this from you so that we can do what we want with it. And that wouldn't be the way that I would want to present what it is. So
Sure.
I would be same thing with like Netflix. People are like, oh, take it to Netflix. I'm like, Netflix just buys things outright. And then you work within that framework if they want you to work within that framework. Otherwise, they might just give you a check and just, whisk you on your way. So we've actually talked about just internally doing something ourselves, be it a live action thing or potentially even just translating it into animation.
Oh, I think this would be fantastic as an animated series.
Yeah, we do too. We do too. And that's kind of the rock that we're standing on right now.
Nice.
Is okay. We have everything we need. We just would need to find a animation house that would be interested in taking on the job. And
Right.
What does it really take to make, let's say, a 90-minute, animated thing that we could put on a Blu-ray and take to movie festivals and whatever. What does it truly really take? And what are the chances of us getting some aspect of, like a name attached for our Dorothy voice or, something along those lines to kind of help solve the thing,
So do you have anyone in mind that you would like to hear voice your Dorothy?
No, I really don't, because this is really new, and I'm sure there's people that I don't even know who they are.
Oh, I'm
that
sure.
would probably be perfect, because I don't really watch a lot of TV, and that's where a lot of these new actors and actresses kind of come up. Like I barely knew who Sydney Sweeney was, and apparently she's been on TV forever.
Well, I'm going to vote for Tara Strong to voice your Dorothy.
Oh, look, Brenda said it at the same time.
Yeah, Tara Strong.
Who's Tara Strong?
Tara Strong is help me, Megan. She's Harley Quinn. She's
a lot of people.
The
Yeah.
entirety of my childhood.
Yeah, right. The entirety of
I got you. Okay.
Raven,
She's Raven from the
Bubbles,
Teen Titans, Bubbles from Powerpuff Girls.
Timmy Turner from Fairly Odd Parents.
Mm-hmm.
A lot.
She's done a lot.
She's primarily in the DC in the Batman universe. She's primarily been Batgirl.
Yeah, Batgirl.
Mhm.
I forgot about that too. Yeah,
She has played Harley, but she's most known for Batgirl.
right.
Yeah.
When we actually, I think the only reason we didn't get it done is because it was too soon. We didn't have enough content. We had this almost sold as a TV show about 10 years ago, and we were actually at a point where we were casting. We were like, okay, do we want to do this? And there was such a brilliant moment that could have happened, because we had talked about Catherine McPhee being Dorothy. She had just come off a show, I think it was called Nashville or something. She was just coming off of Nashville. And Catherine McPhee, for those that don't know, she was an American Idol singer.
Yeah.
And then she went and did some TV shows. But even when she was on American Idol, she sang Over the Rainbow. So there was this great, like, meta connection with her that we were like, Catherine McPhee would be amazing to put in this role and give her this TV show. And I lost my mind when that was being suggested. I was like, no way, this is real. And then of course, as we continued to climb the ladder and talk to the people that were in charge of this particular studio, it all fell apart and they were just like, no, we're not going to do this. I was like, oh my God, opportunity missed, like, so hard. And what's really frustrating, this is the part that really, what does Peter Griffin say? Really grinds my gears. One of the reasons they didn't say yes to it, that they told us, they were like, look, Westerns do not sell. And I was like, do you know the history of Hollywood, sir?
Right.
Like, what are you talking about? And now here we are 10 years later, there is a wave of Westerns happening. Yellowstone and all
Yellowstone.
this. I mean, it's a wave. I mean, we would have been at the crest of that wave of Westerns.
Mm-hmm.
And we would have been doing it in a way that no one else is doing it.
Oh, yeah, yeah. You'd have a complete different take on the Wizard of Oz, making it Western. And it would have fit in great. It would have been awesome. But
yeah, the steampunk thing was happening, right? We vibe on the steampunk thing, like, it was, everything was there. But we just could not convince these two guys that it was worth, optioning, and not even an option. We didn't even get option money. They didn't even, like, pay us a check to kind of hang around for a minute and, like, convince them or anything. They were just like, we got to that point where it was like, it's either going to be, here's a check, or it's going to be, get out of my office. And we got, get out of my office.
Get out of my office.
I was like, oh my God. And then the guy that was helping me sell it, he was like, yeah, this is normal. This is Hollywood. This is how it works. And you have to basically climb another ladder and climb another ladder and climb another ladder until you find somebody who has the right ladder for, what you're trying to do. So, we had
nobody for anybody says I watch Westerns with my dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then my wife said they were idiots.
I'm telling you. And now we're in a position where we're legitimately looking at, okay, look, how do we do this? Even if we made like a 30-minute thing, right? If we were to be like, okay, let's plan for this, just like Tin Man, let's plan for this to be a 90-minute movie, but let's make it in 30-minute increments, right? And that way we're not like breaking our backs to get it done. What would it take to make this to this to this? And so, we have it, and we have. No, I'm not going to say the other part. There was something else that I'm not going to talk about that until it's done. But through the Oz community, there are people who we have talked to that have some clout, and they were like, "Yeah, I'll do that." So I was like, "Oh, all right, that would be amazing." So once we get kind of into those steps, then we'll talk more about that. But
gotcha.
we even had because there's guys that do costume design and stuff, and bring they make like Glinda's costume from the movie. We can't have that at the Oz Museum, so they make a new one, and it's like identical to the thing. I mean, these are great costumers, and so even they have come to me and said, like, "Look, if you ever do like a movie or whatever, we'll do your costumes." And I'm like,
nice,
freaking hell, it's amazing. So, so the community has been great. They enjoy the book. And for the most part, there's still the dissenters, but for the most part, everybody in the community enjoys the book. And whenever we kind of talk about like taking another level up, they get excited, which is amazing. They get excited. It's not even them. Like, oh, Tom's going to like make a movie out of this thing. Holy cow. They get excited. And that's really the sign that you've kind of become part of the community, because they get excited for you to make a new thing and bring it, it's going to come to them eventually, and they're like, oh, I want to see that movie. I want to see that cartoon. I want to see whatever. Like I told them, next year, we're going to probably 90%. We are going to have a Dorothy Gale action figure next year. Yeah. So the guys that made the Critter figure for us, I've been talking to them. I'm like, look, next year's the 50th anniversary. Let's get a Dorothy underway. And they're like, yeah, we can do that. So we're in the beginning stages of the design work for a Dorothy Gale action figure based on our Dorothy Gale. Yeah. And then I was talking about that in a podcast one time. One of our fans was like, do we get Toto too? I'm like, you want a horse? You want to buy a horse? I guess we could probably figure out how to make like a big package deal of like Toto and Dorothy.
I want to know as soon as you get the action figure deal.
Yeah.
This will be a first for me. Yeah, I want a Dorothy Gale action figure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Yeah, I think it would be gigantic, because the Critter figure went over so well. It went out into markets that I hadn't even contemplated happening. I mean, it's available on Big Bad Toy Store. What? How did that happen? Or one version of it is the regular edition is only available for our Kickstarter people, but the extra edition is on Big Bad Toy Store. I'm like, I go to Big Bad Toy Store and I see like Ninja Turtles and Star Wars and Critter. Like, what? How? That's the weirdest thing to see. But it's real. But I think that if we did an Oz figure, it would be the same thing, right? It would be like, because people understand Oz, and even though they don't know what our Oz is, they still understand, oh, Dorothy Gale Oz, she's a gunfighter. She's got ruby spurs. Like, she rides a horse. Like, people would understand it. And I think, again, the steampunk crowd, right? Because it's very steampunk with the ruby bullets and all that.
Right.
So
yeah.
I think the steampunk crowd, I think the action figure crowd, I think just Oz crowd, I think it would go over bananas.
Brenda said we want one autographed, by the way. And nobody for anybody said, yeah. Here, let me see if I can screen share real quick. Window, bam.
What are you screen sharing?
Critter.
Give me a second. Oh, okay.
Let me know when you're ready.
Well, I got to put it in on.
There we go. So there's the Critter action figure. It is on Big Bad Toy Store. She looks great too.
Oh, it came out so good. I mean, they really, they kept coming back to me. They would show me designs and I'd be like, well, fix that. And they'd be like, okay, well, fix that. Okay, well, fix that. Well, I don't like her face. Like, let's fix her nose or whatever. And they were like, look, we'll do this until you're happy with it.
Who's she battling there?
Just some random figure that they had.
Cool.
Yeah. All that stuff that they have is from other figures.
Other stuff. Okay.
Like, yeah, let's just show you how she can, do her art. Cause it's like 30 points of articulation and, comes with different hands and stuff. So yeah,
that's pretty cool to see your creation get an action figure on a toy, like, on a toy store, like Big Bad Toy Store.
It's mind numbing. It's mind numbing how this happened. I and it looks incredible. I mean, it absolutely looks incredible. So yeah, no, I was super happy. It was really funny because these guys so they were originally a company called Loose Collector, and they were in their early days doing custom figures. Like, they'd take a figure and like repaint it and stuff into another figure. And I contacted them and I was like, look, I want a Critter figure because we'll never have Critter figures. And so they actually made a Critter figure for me out of an old Danger Girl Todd McFarlane toy. And so I had that Critter figure for many, many, many years, and I would bring it to cons and stuff. And people would be like, well, how much are they? I'm like, that's it. That's one of one. You're not getting that. That doesn't go into anybody other than me. And then when Loose Collector, I don't know, partnered, I guess, or was acquired by Executive Replicas, those guys came back to me and they were like, so do you want to do like a real Critter figure now? And I was like, yeah. what do we have to do? And they were like, well, you're going to give us a lot of money. And I said, let me figure that out. And then, so we just did a Kickstarter, in when the hell did we do it? 2020, 2021.
Wow.
And, I was like, well, it had to be a little bit more recent. But yeah, in the last few years, I was like, let's do a Kickstarter. We needed like 35 grand. And I was like, oh, this is crazy. And, we managed to pull out 39,000 and the figures got made. So,
Wow.
That's awesome.
Nice. Well, it's a great action figure. So yeah, I would highly encourage people to go check it out. It's on Big Bad Toy Store and just search for Critter and you'll find it. So.
Yeah, and I mean, it's like a real figure. It comes in like a box, like the whole thing. It's
I wish they gave pictures of the box. I'd love to see the box that they put it in. That'd be cool.
Yeah, it's a nice box. You've got the plastic in the front. It's got a little bit of art kind of all the way around it.
So they used your artwork from the comics?
Yeah, I gave them a bunch of art to kind of pick and choose from, and they chose the stuff that they wanted. And I was like, yeah, this is fine. And so it's set up so it's not like a clamshell thing where you have to tear it open. So if you want to open it and then put it all back away,
right,
and keep it nice, you can do that. It's a really nice box.
Very cool. I didn't know
cool.
That's cool. Nice. Dude, you need a link to that on your website.
Yeah, they're not on the website. They haven't been. I've been taking them to the cons. And that's been really a great thing for the cons is because as people are walking around, like anybody can have comics on their table, but as soon as they see a toy, they're like, "Oh, what is that?" And I'm like, "Well, let me tell you what that is." And so it really has changed the perception of us as a company, and it's changed the perception of the character too. So it's not just that it's like, "Oh, there's another superhero."
It's kind of like saying, "No, these guys are legit if they've got an actual toy."
It's that validation step up. Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I think that would that might help Legend of Oz too if you can get the. Oh my gosh, I want that action.
Yeah.
Just put my name on the top of the list. I want
right.
Yeah,
I
would guess if we do it, it'll probably be around this time next year.
Okay, cool.
Because we've got the first half of the year is going to be very busy with a lot of stuff, but and that is the cover for the omnibus, trade paperback or hardcover. Either way, you're going to get that cover.
Nice, and that is a great cover too.
Yeah, so that's Nia Ruffino. She is the only artist. Artist. Oh no, she is. Yeah, she's the only artist. I was thinking that my letterer was the same through all of it, but it wasn't. So she's the only artist to have worked on every single issue of the book. Even I do not write every issue of the book. There's a few issues where I handed it off to some people. So she is the only creative person. I mean, I'm involved in all the issues, so I'm part of it. But of course, as far as the actual like on the page stuff, she's the only one who has done something for every single issue of the book. When it came to this, I was like, there's only one choice and it's got to be Nia. So, yeah.
And you can see her ruby red, bullets and the ruby red pistol grips too, which I love. That's awesome. Oh gosh. Yeah. I want an action figure because that's going to look great.
Yeah. It'll be amazing. And then, so next year, Nia is actually going to come to Ostravaganza. It'll be her first time there. So it'll be me and Nia at Ostravaganza, next year. So if anyone, had a thought of attending, it'll be a good year because we'll both be there.
Cool. Very cool.
And where is that again?
It's in Chittenango, New York, which is basically middle north of the state, like kind of Syracuse-y type of area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's like,
I got a friend from the Syracuse area.
Yeah. It's about 2.5 hours drive from Buffalo going that way. And it's about an hour and a half ish from Syracuse. So it's kind of right in that middle zone. But it's up in Chittenango. It's in Chittenango because that's where L. Frank Baum was born. So it's a celebration of his birthday. His birthday's in May, but they were always having weather oddities in May in New York. So they pushed it down to June so they would kind of have a more stable weather from year to year. So, it gets hot there sometimes, but it's never rained. Like we've never had it's rained. Let me rephrase. We have had rain, but we've never had the parade rained out, which was interesting. And that almost happened this year. Like we were almost all positive the whole weekend was going to be just rain. It rained and rained and rained and rained through Thursday. Friday was a little damp. And then Saturday, it just opened up and it was like, nah, you can have your parade. Go ahead. So it was great. Yeah, it was good.
Oh, speaking of parades, I forgot to tell you this, Stephen. Our logo will be on a float today in a parade.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Roger built
the QR code.
Yeah, with the QR code taking you to our website. So
nice.
Roger made sure and put it on a float that he built.
What's the event?
Is this homecoming or what, Megan? I don't know.
Don't know.
I don't know what they call it now.
Okay, that's fine.
It used
City
to be
Fest.
Oh, City Fest.
Isn't
yeah, it's City
Okay.
Fest. That's right. It's in O'Fallon, Illinois. But yeah, it used to be the O'Fallon Homecoming, but they changed it to City Fest several years back. So, but yeah,
Okay.
our logo will be on a float. So today.
Nice.
I'll
Very
send you some
nice.
pictures.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when we started the parade, the first couple of years, they would pile us all into these big, long, extra long golf cart things. So there'd be like 6 of us on a golf cart, like all the authors or whatever. And then as it went along, I have sat in Camaro, Corvette, oh my God, some really fancy trucks and stuff like that. It's like it's become this legit thing. So I guess people from the community just started like volunteering to like drive people, and so everybody now gets their own car instead of just like being, sardine.
Well, I know for a fact that a lot of these parades, you'll get the local car dealerships. They will allow some of their cars to be used for the parade. So that's probably where some of those are coming from. They're probably coming from local.
It's possible, but every time I get into them, they're always like, "Oh yeah, this is my car." I'm like,
"Oh, well, that could be too." Yeah, there is that too. You have the locals with just real nice cars.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. I don't know who, there may be like a sponsorship for whoever's the parade grand marshal. Maybe they get a fancy car. I don't know.
Sure.
I haven't been the grand marshal yet. So
Yet.
Yes.
It's coming. It'll come. Once they finally figure out how cool this story is.
Once the movie is released.
There you go. When the movie's released, yeah, you definitely got it then.
Oh man. Well, don't forget everybody, next week, go to Kickstarter and we'll make sure we have it. We'll talk about it again on the show next week. But then but you can look up Tom Hutchison on that. Here, let me do that. That's how I do it. That's how I pop it up. Let me add this to do I have it here? Yep, here we go. So what I do is right here. See, it's already memorized it. Tom Hutchison, go there, and then it will. Here, let me just hit there it goes. Hit search. And then you'll see he's had 54 projects. You'll see all the different previous ones that he's had in the past. And, but be there to look there for the newest one, which will be, it launches Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right about this time, noon Eastern on Saturday.
Okay, cool.
Perfect. Noon Eastern on Saturday.
Yeah, but if you go in and you do what Stephen just did, you can click on one of those things, and it's sort of like social media. You can follow me as a creator on Kickstarter. So just click on any one of them, and then it'll show like my profile or whatever, and then you can do right there. Click on me, and then you can like follow creator or something once you click on that.
There you go. So then you'll get a notification.
Oh, I've already followed.
Yeah, you've already followed. So there'll be a button there that'll say follow, just like any social media. And then you can just follow me like social media. And then every time we do a thing, you'll get a
It'll
notification.
send
Hey,
a
this
notification.
has launched or whatever. Yeah.
Cool.
Hmm?
Cool. Now, are you offering any extra goodies with it or anything you can talk about?
So the stretch goals for the book are going to be book related. Like we want to soup the book up. So we've talked to the printer about doing like a spot gloss logo on the top. So it gets a little bit fancier. We've talked about like doing red gilt edging around the pages, that kind of stuff. So the primary stretch goals for the book will be elevating the book's quality and that kind of stuff. We always do sort of day one things, where everybody who backs on day one, we've been doing these old Wizard magazine sort of mock-ups, like using the old, because we were never on Wizard, we'll never be on Wizard. So
Right.
we just kind of create our own little Wizard magazine cover and make trading cards of those. And everybody on day one, every backer on day one just gets one of those automatically. That's not a stretch goal. It's just an automatic thing. You back day one, you get that thing.
Gotcha.
And then we usually have some sort of like fancy day one extra book as well. Usually we call them like retro foils because, again, back in the day, foil stuff we couldn't do foil stuff. So
Right.
we'd go back in and we'd find like, oh, this is like a cool classic old cover that everybody likes. Let's take that one, put it on foil, limit it to just day one backers, and then it goes away. So we do that kind of stuff for that. And then as we go along, I do have a Bunley Young has been doing these great chibis, little like, animation chibis, of magnets for all of our characters. So he has done a Dorothy Gale one. It is ready to go. So that will be one of our like just bonus item stretch goals along the road as well. Yeah.
Neat. Okay. All right. Well, I'll have to check it out next week.
We may have to do a special, like real quick live follow up once it goes live, so we can show everybody what's on there.
You might be able to do that, Stephen, because we're not actually doing a live stream Saturday morning next week. This probably be
that's right. We're doing Sunday.
Talk about that. Yeah, we're doing Sunday next week because we're having our friend Jacob back next week to talk about season 2 of Tulsa King. And then he wants us to do Mobland after that. So Jacob's turning into our resident mob guy. So because his comments mobster related.
Mobster.
So,
there you go.
Phonetic.
But he can't do Saturday morning next Saturday.
All right.
So maybe we'll do that next Saturday morning then. All right, Steven. What are you doing?
I lost my sound all of a sudden.
Oh, okay. I thought he was looking for something for a second there. All right.
Well, all of a sudden, I saw your mouth.
You look like you were about ready to
hear the words.
You were like ready to drop the bass or something, like I'm coming over here.
Yeah, it was weird. Steven's DJing on the side.
Right. Yeah. All right. Well, that's it for everybody. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us here on Two Geeks and a Microphone. If you would, please check out our website at www.twogeeksmic.com. That's the number 2 GEKSMIC.com. That's the hub to get to everything else, which would include our merch page, which is www.twogeeksmicmerch.com. And then also you can also from our main hub website, you can also get to our Ko-fi page where you can help us out, just buy us a coffee. So it's ko-fi.com/2geeks, the number 2 GEEKS. And then also if you want to contact us, best way to do that is going to be at show@twogeeksmic.com. That's show at the number 2 GEKSMIC.com. Also, be sure to check out Tom's page at www.bigdoginc.com. bigdogink.com. Now that's ink as in the pen ink that I have, not ink as a company. So that's bigdogink.com, and that'll take you to his store page. You can also support Tom at patreon.com/Big Dog Inc., BIGDOGINK as well. So, all right. Anything else, Mr. Mike, that we need?
With that said, please make sure and go and like and subscribe to us on both Facebook and Instagram now, because I did finally make the jump over on Instagram. And we are trying to build that up. We got a few new subscribers recently, so we appreciate that. And then, of course, we go live generally every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. You do the math on the rest because I don't like math. But we go live on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, and Rumble. At least when I remember to make the stream up for Rumble.
That's all right.
Rumble's got different rules. I can't make the stream until like an hour or 2 hours before we actually go live. Where YouTube, I can make it like a month in advance,
Right.
So I wish Rumble would change that around so it'd be easier.
They'll get there.
They'll get there. They'll get there. Anyway, if we don't go live on Rumble, we do upload it right afterwards. So just hang in there if it didn't go live. Anyway, so with that said, please make sure I said that. Please make sure and like and subscribe to us on all those, because we need the followers.
Well, we just like the biggest thing though is we've made connections with people all over the world, and we're having a blast. Yes. And we just want to get the word out there because just meeting new people. And Tom, you've been one of those that Mike's had the opportunity to meet, and so we love having you on the show. So thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. It's always a good time.
Thank you. And we got a new little thing we need to roll, Stephen. A big thank you to our Ko-fi subscribers. We put that at. There we go. So we'll roll this real quick. Just wanted to give a shout out to our Ko-fi subscribers. So if you're watching, Josh Wilson, Jeffrey Wright, Sage Page Omega. Me,
Michael Shanks, Brenda Shanks, Megan Shanks,
Eli, 3 Geeky Dads. We appreciate you guys. Geek Dad Derek, Geek Girls Gaming, Gopher Fluffernut, Tammy Beecham, and John Keller. We appreciate you guys very much. So.
Yes, thank you so much.
All right. With that said, anything else, guys? Last words, funny anecdotes. All right.
We're good.
Please make sure and do not Steven skip this episode because we are much more better than the rest.
Cheers.
Thank you for joining us today on the Two Geeks and a Microphone podcast. Tune in next week when we will have more news and reviews. Until then,
may the force be with you.